Hey, what's up? My name is Zach King, and for the next couple minutes I'm going to walk you through Premiere Pro, and hopefully after that you'll feel comfortable and really good about editing in the software. And this is kind of just to get you started, get an overview of Premiere. For those of you that know me, I usually teach Final Cut, and if you want to know why I'm teaching Premiere now, I have a little video at the end explaining that, so if you want to stick through, I'll see you then. This is the dialog box that you're greeted by Premiere when you open it up. You have an option to start a new project or to open an older project, but since we're jumping into a new one, let's create that. This next window tells us where we can set our general information such as the video time code. Keep all these settings the same for now. We're going to name the project Premiere Intro Tutorial. And just to show you the scratch disk, you could also change these settings where you're going to save, where you're going to preview. We'll talk about this in a later movie in this training. Let's go ahead and hit OK. And over here you've got a bunch of sequence presets. If you're new to editing, a sequence is where you're going to be editing your actual timeline, have your footage laid out. This is just asking you to figure out what preset your camera shot your footage in. The great thing about Premiere is that it's really smart, and it'll pick up later the footage and ask you to change the settings before you start editing. So you can skip this step and just hit OK. If you're coming from CS 5.5 or lower, you'll notice they changed the window layouts. It used to be this one, CS 5.5. It's a lot messier, a lot more windows and panels open, but right now they've got it just on the 2-up layout, or from Final Cut, you'd know this as a 2-up. I want to explain the layout to you and show you how the editing process will work within these panels. Over here we've got our project panel. This is where you're going to have everything for your footage, your pictures, all your audio, your media. Anything that's going to be edited in your project will be imported into this window. We're also going to get our transitions down here, our video effects, and our audio filters. Why don't we go ahead and grab some media? If you click the media browser tab, you can open up one of your hard drives and see folders. So I'm going to scroll down and look for a project here. I've got a folder called Premiere RC Car Chase, and all my video tutorials will come with the project files in this training course, and this is one of them that you get, and you get all my RC Car Chase video footage. So if I open one up by clicking, we can preview the file and see what the shot is, but that doesn't mean it's actually imported into our project yet. So inside the folder, maybe we want to select only a few clips. We'll go ahead and hold down Command when we select multiple clips. We'll select a variety of these and then right click and go to import. And now they are officially in our project. We can double click, scrub through, and this brings us to our source window. Right above the project panel, we've got this area called the source where we can preview our footage. If we hit spacebar, we see the shot. But the cool thing about this window is this is where we can select how much of this goes into our timeline down here, our sequence. So what you're going to use is I and O for in and out points. If I play through, and you can scrub back arrows, forward arrows. You also have the L key to play forward. You can hit it multiple times and go double speed, or you can hit J, it's backwards, and JJ multiple times is exponentially faster as well. And K is pause. I want to start my shot right here. So we'll hit I for in point, and we'll stop it right there after the cars leave the frame. Maybe we want to back up a couple frames and hit O. So now we can drag this into our timeline directly like this. And there's the warning I told you about. It asks you, would you like to change the settings to match the footage? And you usually want to say yes. So let's go to change sequence settings. Now our clip is really small in here. We want to be able to see it, so we can hit the plus button on your keyboard and it opens it up right there. If you want to zoom out, you just hit the minus key, but let's say we want to fit the window to the entire project to see everything. Just hit the backslash key. It'll show you all the clips from beginning to end in your timeline, so it's very helpful. That's backslash. Now we're playing through our clip, and up here we see the final video. This source window is no longer playing because that was only for previewing before we edit. Now that we've got our clip selected, we can see it in the project monitor. What I always say for the project monitor is what you see in there is what you're going to get. This is what you're going to export, put onto YouTube, or burn to a DVD. This is the final video here. Let's add another clip to our timeline. We're going to do it a little differently. Let's go ahead and hit I for the endpoint. And once this helicopter leaves, we'll hit O. Now, it was a little long, so let's go ahead and just hit I right there. So there's two type of edits I want to teach you real quickly. One is an overwrite and one is an insert. So to add this next clip, we can do an overwrite. You'll see if I drop and drag on top of that clip where my playhead is, it's going to just cut off what I've already had under there. If I undo that, Command Z, you'll see I had that part of the clip and I really want the clip to go here. So we can drop and drag and just snap it to the edge. And so that command was right here as well. Instead of just dropping it, we could just click it that way. We could get it into the timeline by dragging it over the project sequence there. But we can also do an insert edit, and that is where it'll cut here and push itself in between, keeping this section here. And if we click this, insert, there it is. By the way, you can see all the key commands for these shortcuts right here. We've got the period for overwrite and the comma for insert. Also, if you go up in your menus, you'll see them here on the sides. Up arrow is shift. This weird little, I look at it as an escalator, is an option. This is command. Let's say we wanted to add more length to the shot. Maybe we want to show the helicopter building up more. We can drag it to the side like this, and we can move it out and drag it longer. It's really simple. You see that little arrow just pops out and allows you to pull right or left as long as you have handles on your clip. We've got a toolbox here of tools that we can use. One of the most popular that you're going to commonly be using is C, the razor tool. Get to know that key command well. And you're just going to click, and wherever your mouse is, it creates that cut. We can go back to the selection tool. V is the key command. You can select something, delete it. You can click a gap and delete that as well, removing that part of the clip. Okay, let's go ahead and add a standard transition to show you what that's like. We can make our way over to the effects panel, come down to video transitions. We could search for the dissolve up here, or we can just see it's right here. We can grab the dissolve transition and drag it onto a cut in the video. You'll see it's red. It needs to be rendered before we export this, but for now we can preview it. And you can edit the lengths of the cross dissolves by dragging them here or double clicking, and you've got more features up here. And real quick, I want to show you how to make a title. Let's say we want to add an awesome title for this video. We'll go up to the menu, title, new title, and we'll go to a still. If you wanted to do a roll or a crawl, you had those options there for those animations. We're going to call this the intro title. And I'm just going to do a really simple example. We'll take a preset style down here. Let's do something that might match the action type film. We'll go with this. You go up and click anywhere in your image, and let's say directed by Zach King. And we're going to open up. We want it to be bigger, of course. The director needs a lot of attention. And we've got some options over here for color. So the solid is the main color. Just click that color well. We can change it maybe to a exciting orange. Turn up the opacity, and we can adjust the strokes and other options that came with that preset. We can also change the fonts. But for now, let's say that's okay. Close this window, and now if we go into our project files, we've got the title. And notice it didn't just add itself to the video. We have to come over here, grab it, and put it on. And using our blade tool, C, right over here, we can just come trim it up to the length we want. Maybe we'll have it cut at the end. V, back to arrow, and delete. So now we've got the directed by Zach King, but we'll probably want to fade this on. So that's where we'll come to the effects, cross dissolve, and put it on the title. It's magical, I know. So that is a very, very quick and brief overview of Premiere and how the editing process works. Hopefully you feel a little comfortable. You can get in there and try some cuts. Again, if you have the training course that I have for Premiere, you'll get all my project files and the footage. And right now, I'll just jump back outside and I'll tell you why the Final Cut King is now teaching Premiere. So I want to talk a little bit and explain my thoughts on editing in Premiere and versus Final Cut. I'm not going to get into the debates or anything like that. I just want to say that editing comes down to preference and what you enjoy using better, what tells your story better, what software do you like using. And I'm going to stay with Final Cut 10 personally. I'm going to keep 80% of my workflow on that. I do use Premiere now currently, about 20%, and we'll see how that switches in the next couple years, but I really have a passion for Final Cut. But in general, I love editing. So I have a training course for Premiere that's out now because I had a lot of people just saying, hey, will you teach? We just enjoy your teaching style, and I love teaching. So I've created this course. It's downloadable and streamable on my website. You can see the link below, finalcutking.com. Again, I will continue doing training for Final Cut 10 and Premiere. I love both of them. I just love editing in general. So whatever I can teach you guys, I'll keep doing that. So hope you enjoy the training, and I'll see you later.